Hey, Wakusa, what's going on, family? It's your Ndugu Shaka Jajaga Shakur, aka M. Casa, the Bush Doctor, coming at you with another episode of African Talk, where Africans talk worldwide. And let's get into it. First of all, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're good. I hope your family is good. And as always, we pray that the Creator and the ancestors guide our words in the right and not the wrong direction. Let's get at it. Yo, as always, man, we're going to do what we do, right? So it's been a while. I've been away. I've been really busy, but I'm back and we're going to get it out there. Today I want to get right into the subject and I'm kind of queuing up my information because I don't like to talk off the top of my head. So we're going to get right into this subject, this unfortunate subject of our people who have gone missing, man. It's an epidemic in the black community. I call it a genocide. That's what I say, straight up. It's a genocide, man. Our people are being abducted and our young are being, murdered at such a high rate. And I'm not going to tiptoe around the bush with all the funny little words. Murdered. That's what's happening. They're being murdered. These kids are disappearing and they're turning up. I think in Mississippi not too long ago. Is it Mississippi or Texas? Texas, where they had a watery area, like a swamp area, where they turned up all these bodies, man, black bodies, young black people that were missing there. I think in Alabama, I believe, behind a police precinct. I think that was about half a year ago, where they dug up behind the precinct in Mississippi, and all these bodies were back there. Black people in those places. Come on, y'all. That's genocide, man. If it was anywhere else, they would be calling it a genocide. Why is it different when it comes to the black community? Why can't we call it what it is? You know, nobody makes noise for us, but we make noise for everybody. And it's just enough is enough, man. We're not going for it no more. We're not doing it. You know what I mean? So we're saying, man, bring them home. Bring them home. Where are they? Give us some answers. Now I'm gonna read some statistics first before I get into it. Bear with me. Now I'm getting this straight out the source, all right? It goes, while there is no single official federal database tracking modern day lynchings, that's a problem right there because they still occur. A major investigative report titled A Crimson Record, released by the civil rights organization Julian, documents more than 70 suspected modern day lynchings. 70, 7-0, okay? Across 7 southern states. Many of these cases involve black individuals found hanging from trees whose deaths were initially ruled as suicide by local authorities, sparking intense community distrust and demands for federal transparency. 70 people? And they always get marked as suicide. Everybody's committing suicide. Come on, y'all. I'm not saying that black people don't commit suicide. Black people, that happens. Of course it does. I would be first to say, unfortunately, it's true. But hanging ourselves, that's not the way we do it. That's just not a black thing, y'all. I don't care what nobody say. We're not trying to hang ourselves. Now, there's other things I've read about: pills, ingestion, drug overdoses, even using guns. But hanging ourselves, now that's not something we do. And the fact that there's not a urgency to report this and find this, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? And then you have, the southern states who are proactively working to push us back into Jim Crow, back into the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. They working hard. They just passed the gerrymandering bill, where they were able to reshuffle the zoning, all in an attempt to suppress us. The police have been released on the black community wholesale. You can't turn on a video without seeing someone else being beaten, males and females. Just a video of a day of a white officer, beating a black woman with his fist, beating her while he held her down. You see it all the time, man. Our black babies go missing now. All of a sudden, this is a tick, an upsurge. This is terrorism. This is terrorism to try to get black people in line. You're trying to scare us back into line. Look, let me tell you something. As much as my ancestors are in me and in us, we're not them. And when I say we're not them, I don't mean a disrespectful way. We're not them because we honor them too much to allow you to put us back there. They gave up too much for us to get here, for us to allow you and your crooked government and your illegal, mafioso type ways to push us back into Jim Crow. We're not going for it. And we damn sure ain't going back to no plantation. That's for sure. So these 70 lynchings, that's 70 documented. Who knows how many not? You know, just the other day, a mother found her son recently. They had to go out and look for the boy. 18 years old, just graduated. This man had his whole life in front of him, and they find him. I got children that age, and they find this young man. The family found this young man inside a wooded area, dismembered, shot, and burned, mutilated, basically. You know what kind of pain that is to have to you search because the police don't want to help you, so you got to search for your own child, and then you find him in that condition. Come on, man. Come on. So it goes on to say missing black teens and children data. A disproportionate missing numbers. Black youth are disproportionately represented in missing persons data across the United States. For example, a recent statistical snapshot from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children highlighted that out of 77 children reported missing in Virginia in a single month, 45 of them, roughly 60%, were black. Now, you know the history of Virginia. I hope y'all do, right? You know that Virginia not only was the seat of slavery, but it was the capital of the slave reproduction center. That they of all the states was the hardest when it came to slavery. They produced the slaves there. They made slaves do horrendous things to produce livestock. That's what they called us, livestock. And they're missing in those kind of numbers, and nobody's screaming loud. But if they were white children, they would be, man, we wouldn't even be talking about this. If it was white children, they would be, this case would be solved. There'd be national days and all that. I'm not trying to be funny. And to my Native American people, I'm one of the people who put the red hand on my face to stand in solidarity about your missing indigenous women. Now I need y'all to stand in solidarity with us, right? I'm the dude. I'm that dude. I'm cashing in. I'm cashing in alliance favors. We come out for you. We were there for your water pipe situation. When they denied you fresh water, we were there. You didn't come to Flint, but we came there, right? Now we were there when it was the kidnapping and murdering and exploitation of Native women, which we do not agree with. We were there. Now you need to be here. Now you need to put a black hand on your face for our babies and everybody else too. All you liberal white people who are screaming and going crazy over everything else, over Renee Good and all that, we need you here now screaming for our babies. Now I'm quite sure it ain't gonna happen, but I'm putting it out there. That's what we need you to do. Straight up, man. Underreported crisis. Advocacy groups point out that cases involving missing black teenagers frequently suffer from a lack of media coverage, slower Amber Alert rollouts, and a tendency by law enforcement to initially categorize them as voluntary runaways, rather than endangered individuals. During slavery, they had a man-made disease called drapetomania that said that if a slave ran away, they had to be crazy to run away from such a good life. Now in reverse, now you call our children runaways because you are the ones abducted them. Truck drivers going missing. It's you. When I say you, law enforcement, the police, we all know they're the Klan. We know that they are the Ku Klux Klan. There is no secret to that. You and your counterparts, white people, are the ones kidnapping our babies. There was a case just the other day of a 7-year-old baby, 7 years old, allowed to be adopted by 3 white women, a mother, grandmother, and daughter, 3 generations. And this baby gets stabbed 96 times and ends up losing her life. And they got arrested, of course, but still, how many times has this happened? What about the couple, I think it was a year ago, they had adopted 3 black children and they had them tied up in the basement to the wall, treating them like slaves, modern day slaves. There's been hundreds of cases like that. But still, me as a black man or a black woman, we can't even adopt a dog from you without you giving us the most crazy, extensive background check. But you give our babies, our black babies, to these Europeans who turn around and do what they do. And don't tell me it's not every European. I'm gonna keep speaking the way I'm speaking until other white people get up and start speaking against it louder than me. It's all of you. Silence is complicity. Period. You ain't saying nothing about it, you with it. You running over there. And I'm not saying what's going on with the ICE detention centers is not a serious situation. It is. It's a blow against humanity. I fight against anything that is against humanity, that is against the will of Allah. I don't agree with any kind of tyranny. However, I am especially concerned with the group that I come from. And I'm peeping the lack of support, the lack of everything from most people. But it's all right. I'm just saying I see. So my babies get missing and they're runaways all of a sudden. I think it was, I don't know if it got passed, but I know like last year or early the year before that, there was this rollout of this, like not the Amber Alert, but it was this other alert with a black girl's name, right? So I'm like, yo, I didn't like it. Why do we need give me a black girl's name, a LaQuisha alert? Why do we need that? Why do we need a LaQuisha alert, a LaQuisha alert? Why do we need that? Hmm? If we got an Amber Alert, that's for all children. That should just be it. So if you give me an alert for a LaQuisha, right? A Fatima alert, what you're doing ultimately is you're giving me a dog whistle to the white racist police and authorities and law enforcement that this is a young black girl missing or black child missing. So no, they're not going to go as fast. You already cued them in. But if it's an Amber Alert, hey, everybody show up. But even the process of reporting our children missing is flawed. I'm quite sure you don't tell a white person that their children just ran away. Forget about it. Just wait for a while. They'll come home. And then you half-ass go look for it. I know you don't do that with your own. I know you don't. I'm proposing, because I don't like to be on African Talk just talking about the problem. I'm proposing that we in the black community, the different little groups in your communities, get together and you become the search teams. Those of us who are licensed to carry weapons, get down with it too, because we're going to need some security while we checking these door-to-door situations. Those of us with military training, they taught you how to go door-to-door. You went to Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam taught you how to clear out them houses, door-to-door over there in Fallujah. Well, I need you here. I need you to get down with these teams and show us how to stack up on a door, how to secure, how to search and do recon, in a way that we can be effective. So all these abandoned buildings in our communities in Detroit, Atlanta, and other places, we can go into these abandoned houses and check. Maybe our babies might be in house right there. You never know. It's proven through these white serial killers that they don't take their children somewhere far away. Those kids be like right in a 2 to 3 mile radius. Real close. But they don't know where they at. You don't know where they at. So boom, that's where they stay. Just the other day, I was watching the video and this man saw a U-Haul truck, a Ryder truck, and he saw the door open and the hand came out cuffed. And the man called the police and followed the vehicle, black man. And they wound up saving all these children. So it's happening every day. It's happening every day. So don't tell us that we're imagining things. And right now, it is going down against black people. It is open season on black people out here. Men, women, and child, we are not safe out here. So if you have children, have your children and your loved ones, your wife, your husband, whoever, y'all got to start reporting. Call and pick up that phone. Call when you get there. Put your locations on when you're in these little Ubers and Lyfts and all that. Hell, when you're driving in your own car far away, call people. I drive a truck for a living. I call people and give them, yeah, I'm here. I'm over here. I'm over there. Yes, you have to do that. And for y'all, pick up the phone when people call, because you never know. They could be calling you because they're in the back of a car being kidnapped. There's no telling. Pick up the phone. For real. This ain't time to play. Now it says recent suspicious hanging deaths in the last 2 years. Within the last 2 years, prominent deaths have renewed national anxiety over racial violence and modern-day lynchings. First is Trey Reed, 2025. 21-year-old black student found dead hanging from a tree on the campus of Delta State University in Mississippi. They just pushed that under the rug. Local police quickly reported no initial signs of foul play, but civil rights attorneys and victims' family has strongly contested those vague conclusions, demanding an independent research. We know he was hung, period. Tory Medley, 2025, 39-year-old black man found hanging near a Wisconsin golf course. Though officially ruled a suicide, his family publicly maintains it was not. Treviante Schubert Helton, 2024. 29-year-old black man discovered hanging from a tree in a heavily white town in North Georgia. His case was flagged by civil rights under suspicious uh, situations and circumstances. There's a systemic pattern here, and that's just a few of the cases. You know, there were ladies found too. Now there was just recently a 16-year-old girl was found in South Carolina hanging on church ground. A couple of months ago, I want to say 6 months to not even a year ago, there was a woman. I think she was in her upper 60s or so, 59, 60, found hanging. I think she was in upstate New York. And in Florida, there were two women found hanging in Florida close to, I think it was like January, beginning of the year. So it's not just men, women too are being found, lynched, hanged, etc. I just saw an older story of a young lady in a Northern California town. She was arrested and released, just released on her own to go home, to walk home. Now we know from the ancient, from our Southern history how that go, but needless to say, she disappeared. And when they found her remains, she was all discombobulated, mutilated in a field. Come on, family. All right, look. One, stay up on the news. Two, form independent search teams. Spend a little money on search equipment. Three, people who are trained militarily or otherwise, get with the community and form community search groups. All right. Four, central databases. Create organizations that keep a database for your area. So I'm in Georgia. We get a data team to keep up with what's going on in Georgia. We can't be all over the place, but we can cover Georgia. Somebody else can cover South Carolina, North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. You know what I mean? We, Kentucky, anywhere there's black folks, we have to start doing this. That's we, the black community. Whether you are a organization or just a church or a mosque, whatever, it's time for us to step up. Now, I just gave you instructions on how to do it. Let's get it done. This is genocide. And I'm not going to water it down, sweeten it down. This is an attempt to eradicate a people. How are we 14% of the population and we're 60%, as we just read, 30, I think 60% of the missing cases? Our children alone. That makes no sense. It's impossible. It is impossible for that to be the case. 70 lynchings? Come on, family. That's crazy. 70 lynchings. No, it's unacceptable. You know what I mean? It's unacceptable. And it is a part of a larger global situation to weaken black strength. In South Africa, they have instigated the xenophobic wars, tribal wars. Yet, 100 South Africans were arrested the other day when they decided to move on the Asians. You let them move on other Africans, well, as soon as they move on Asians, you stop them. I mean, it is what it is. And this FBA bullshit, delineation bullshit we got going on here is just like that. These are all attempts to weaken us. And I'm gonna leave you with this. There's an old saying, it's a proverb. It says that when you want to stop a battle, you kill a soldier. But when you want to end the war, you kill his children. Think about it. Kusu, Assalamu alaikum. One God, one aim, one destiny.